I'm really enjoying coaching here at Miami. I'm really enjoying this team. It's just a fun group of guys to be around. We had 10 practices in July leading up to a 10-day trip to France. Played 3 games. We won 3 games, but the most important thing is the guys got a chance to really enjoy each other's company. It's created a real nice bond, very good chemistry on the court and off the court. And then we came back, started school. We've been working very hard. The guys put a great deal of effort. And we're not where we're going to need to be defensively and rebounding in order to compete with the best teams in our league and some of the best teams in the country. We're not there yet. But my staff is doing a great job of what's the word? Explaining to our players what needs to be done in order to get to where we want to be. And now it's going to be up to the players to do that, to really work at getting better at defense and rebounding, because they, like the coaches, want to be every bit as good as we possibly can be.
When you come off a Final Four, it is a new, even though you have some guys back, it is a new team. How do you break guys of thinking that they're still a Final Four team? When does 1 year end and the next year sort of begin in their mind, and how do you get them to think that way?
Well, it's interesting because this week is also ACC Media Day. I've been debating talking to the players about it, but I've been kind of waiting for this and might even wait till we get back because you guys create it. You create the anticipation. The media has a top 25 poll. There must be like 1 million top 25 polls, and we're 13th. Oh no, we're 17th. No, we're 8th. I mean, so what we have to understand is, and I think the players do, the rankings don't determine if you're good or not. Everything is performance on the court, and the performance not only by us but by our opponent. So we could play a great basketball game, be the best that we can be, and still lose to an opponent that just happens to be a little better, right? The interesting part, and my staff and I are always preaching this, we play in so many close games. Last year, I think it was 17, decided in the last possession, right? Like, okay, how good can we get at end-of-game situations? Can we get a stop when we need it? Can we make a free throw when we need it? Can we run an out-of-bounds play? Can we run a play after an ATO to score a bucket? Because, quite frankly, that will ultimately determine if we can be as good as we want to be. Now, you got to be great at the end of games. That last 5 minutes, the last 2 minutes, the last minute, last possession, you know, we're good enough to compete, but to finish strong, that's going to be the challenge for everybody.
Hi, Jim. Is everybody healthy? Or is there anybody that will not be able to play?
Are you coming to practice today?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, you'll see for yourself if, you know, or you better yet, you can talk to our trainer. I'm not in charge of, in fact, I won't know who's going to practice today until my trainer tells me this guy's out, or this guy. I just got a text from him about one player. And he said he had what he thought was a minor, I don't want to say injury. He's dealing with something minor that he probably just taped in practice. But we won't really know that for sure until practice.
But I mean, is there anyone who's like on crutches who's obviously not going to be able to practice for a while?
I don't think he's on crutches. There is one guy that might not practice. We'll make that a surprise.
Coach, Luka Poplar's been a player that's been looked at as many as a breakout player in the country this year. Can you talk a little bit about his development this summer and what he's looked like stepping into a bigger role?
He's fantastic. You know, he's got this year and one more, but I don't know if we're going to be able to hold on to him. He's definitely an NBA prospect. We have a ton of NBA people at our practices. I think we have 3 or 4 more today that are evaluating him and all our other guys. But Wooga is a great competitor. He's worked really hard to become a heck of a defensive player. I love it when he rebounds because that adds another dimension, kind of like Bruce Brown was a great rebounder as a guard. But Wooga Papa is a phenomenal three-point shooter, and he may be the best pull-up jump shooter in the country. His pull-up jump shot is as good as any NBA player. And I've been around a lot of players. A lot of guys don't have like a mid-range game, but he does. So he gets those opportunities. We had a scrimmage last week. He had 31 points. So he's really good.
What did he do? I mean, what has he done? He was already breaking out last season. What has he done between then and now to get to this point?
He's just gotten older. He's a little bit more consistent, a little more physically and mentally mature, emotionally mature. He's listening a little bit better and maybe understanding. You know, last year at this time, every time he shot a pull-up jump shot, I cheered for him. I said, yeah, that's what you should be looking for. And then Daisy, you know, he wouldn't shoot any of them. I said, look I might text him that night. I said, you didn't even take a pull-up jump shot today. You passed up pull-up jumpers to shoot layups. No, you got to get better at the pull-up jump shot. And now he's as good as it gets.
Coach, to follow up on Wooga, you mentioned back in July that you might play him a little bit at the point this year, and I'm just wondering, is that a development that's continued throughout the season leading into now? Or?
Yeah, we did it in practice one day. I said, hey, look, I told you I was going to play at the point some, so we're going to do it today. And at the end of the practice, I asked him, how he felt. He said, man, tired. I didn't realize how fatiguing it is to be a point guard and have to bring the ball up against pressure every day. And so it gave him a greater appreciation for what like Nigel and Bensley do.
Jim, have any of AJ and Chris or Kai made a jump like Wooga has?
No, not like Wooga, but they've each added something that's important. In AJ's case, I'm very pleased he's gotten stronger. He's more aggressive. He's worked hard on his shot. Whether that will translate into better performance, we won't know until the games, because in practice, you can do it in a practice and it looks good, but until you do it under game conditions against high-level opponents, that is the only way your confidence really grows. If you do it against a weak team, okay, you feel really good about it, but in the back of your mind you're saying, yeah, but those guys weren't that good. Then you do it against a top 10 team, a top 20 team, and you play really well, you leave that court, kind of like my grandson did yesterday. He's an 8th grader, and he got his first dunk in the 8th grade. He stole the ball off a guy at midcourt, drove it the length, and dunked the ball. So something like that really boosted his confidence because he did something he's never done before. With our players, it's the same thing. If you think you can do it, that's good. If you believe you can do it, that's better. But if you then do it, that's the best. Because once you do it, then that's good.
I want to ask
Were you
go ahead.
dunking? Were you dunking in 8th grade?
I'm sorry?
Were you dunking in 8th grade?
I didn't dunk until my sophomore year in high school. But I got a quote I like. I'm going to share it with you. I think I sent it yesterday to Bill Courtney. We were talking. I guess I didn't send it to Bill Courtney. Let me see if it's in my photos. Oh, shit. I can't find it.
Later.
But here's the idea of the quote. It's from Aristotle. And it says, when you can't do something and you're trying to learn how to do it, do it. The only way to learn is by doing. And that's what you're asking. You know, AJ, Chris is the same way. Chris has gotten a little stronger, a little better defensively. I'm encouraging him to rebound more. Jakai is improving his shot, which is the area that he needed to focus on. So everybody's made incremental steps. Now the thing is, can you do it under game conditions? So we'll see.
I want to ask about Matthew Cleveland and how's he adapting? I mean, he's someone who was kind of a big transfer.
I think he has adjusted extremely well. He and I have had multiple conversations, one in particular where I asked him to think about how he could become more efficient. In other words, he can do a lot of really good things on the basketball court. But the difference between a lot of players is, let's say you're going to score 20 points, how many shots does it take to get to 20? If a guy can go, 8 for 12 and end up with 20 points as compared to someone who went 8 for 16. No. And in Matt's case, because he's got a lot of different skills, and we've encouraged him to use all of them, including passing. So you might see him handle the ball on the fast break some. You might see him shooting some threes. He's very, very fast. You're going to see him in the open court get some layups. And he's a very good defensive rebounder. So, he's second on the team in practice. No, he's actually not. He's third. Norshad's our leading rebounder. Michael Nwako is our second, and Matt is right there. So those three guys are our best rebounders, and we're trying to get AJ into that same category.
Coach,
Because
the
he has so,
freshman
because he
All right,
has so,
one at a time.
the freshman class, you just mentioned Michael a little bit. Just what have you seen from them and how they're all coming along?
Yeah, freshmen are freshmen. They got to get better defensively. Michael does, Keyshawn does, Paul does. It's all about the defense. Tim?
can Matthew, just in terms of, like you said, he's got multiple skills. He's got it's unfair to ask him to be Jordan Miller 2.0, but can you envision him in some of the same roles that Jordan played for you last year?
Again, every player is different. You can compare him to Jordan or some other player, but he has to fit with this team. Because it'd be one thing if he was replacing Jordan Miller, and we also had Isaiah Wong back. You remove Isaiah Wong, you remove Jordan Miller, all of a sudden everything is different. Because that's our leading scorer and our second leading scorer. And now who's going to step up to be our leading scorer and our second leading scorer this year? I don't know. The games will tell me how guys really play under game conditions.
Jim, you guys have done a very good job the last few years of bringing in transfers and integrating them onto your team. How have you and your staff kind of perfected that? Because, like I said, it's worked out very well the last several years.
I am very fortunate to have Bill Courtney on my staff, and Bill basically recruited all those transfers. He was the point person, and the point person's job is to make initial contact and then follow through, to organize any official visit, and to direct me as to what I need to be doing. And so Bill, first guy he reached out to was Charlie Moore, who everybody knows if he came to Miami, it was going to be his fourth school, which dramatically affected my thoughts. And then Bill convinced me, no, Charlie's the guy we need, and he clearly was. In Jordan Miller's case, when Jordan entered the portal, Bill reached out to one of his best friends growing up, who was Jordan Miller's AAU coach. And the guy just raved about Jordan, said for Coach L and your staff, Jordan will be a great fit. With Matthew Cleveland, Bill convinced me that we should go to Tallahassee to recruit him. I was like, what? We're going to the Florida State University campus. We're not going to go on campus. We're just going to go across the street. And we did that, not once but twice, to make sure that Matt knew that he was our highest priority in the portal. Now, you look at a lot of different people, but you have to prioritize who you think is the best fit. and Matt was. So when you look at our teams these last couple of years, you know, last year we had in the starting lineup, Nigel was a transfer.
Was Nigel also Bill Courtney also was?
Bill Courtney,
Mhm.
Norshad O'Meara, Bill Courtney. And again, I'm the head coach, but Bill is the coordinator. He's the defensive coordinator who basically lays out a plan and an approach of how we could get a player of this caliber to come. And again, there's so much competition. It's not easy. You got to figure it out. And Bill does a great job of figuring things out and telling me what I need to do. And we are who we are. We don't change anything. We just prioritize. And Charlie and Jordan were priorities. Nigel and Norshad were priorities, and Matt Cleveland was a priority.